you ever try working out the chords to a song, thinking ahead of time it's going to be quite involved with some fairly intricate sounds, and then realise after a couple of minutes it's nothing but 2 chords? That's what's happened with Over the Hill by John Martyn. Thanks to Pete Galloway, one of my subscribers on here, for suggesting it. And I guess this song has kind of always been in the background a bit for me, one of those lovely noodly John Martyn songs. And in fact, it is nothing but G and A minor. This guitar is in standard tuning, so we'll look at the basic scheme of the song. And quite apart from the fact that there's only 2 chords, it's a very simple song anyway. There's a kind of 4-bar verse and an 8-bar chorus, and that's pretty much it. We are strumming like this. Going away to leave you, gonna leave you in disgrace. Nothing in my favor, got the wind in my face. I'm going home. Hey, 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 over the hill. 1, 2, 3, over the hill. That's really the whole thing, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're strumming in 16ths, which is very much what John Martyn did, and we're accenting up strums just to create a bit of syncopation and frankly a little bit more momentum and interest than we'd have otherwise. So that really needs to be under your fingers, creating a solid beat. That rhythm really needs to be nailed on. And even in this standard tuning version, we can use plenty of hammer-ons. We're in G, so any of the open strings are going to work as inclusions. When we're on our A minor, lift off both the 2nd and 3rd fingers and hammer them on. That kind of stuff. 2nd fret of the 4th string when we're playing the G. Of course, the 2nd fret of the 5th string too. And in fact, the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, a whole kind of G pentatonic kind of thing here. And if you've seen my video on James Taylor's version of You Got a Friend, I outlined the G pentatonic scale there. All good notes for hammering on. But what we really want to do is to look at this guitar, which is tuned in DADGAD. And if you're not familiar with DADGAD, here's a treat for you. The strings are tuned as the tuning says: D, A, D, G, A, D. Now, in fact, in a moment, I'm going to put a capo on the 5th fret, and I'm going to need to tweak the tuning a bit for that because it's not massively reliable once I've put the capo on. But let me just talk you through the kind of sound we can create with this. These strings are tuned to a D sus4 kind of thing. It's ambiguous, it's neither D major nor D minor, and that is something of the attraction of this tuning. If we place a finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, then we've got nothing but Ds and As. It gives us a very raw kind of sound. Now, in fact, we're not after a D chord at all. We want a G chord, so it's going to be that kind of a sound once I've put the capo on. But for now, just a finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string is enough to give us a really powerful sound. It's like a D5 power chord. We can include the open 3rd string as well. That's going to give us something of the flavour of the original. And in fact, we can hammer on onto the 2nd fret of all of these strings. You might start to hear the sound of the original come through. One of the big characteristics of this tuning, of course, is that the 3rd and 2nd strings are a tone apart, so that gives us lots of double notes and having notes on the 3rd string above the 2nd string and this kind of stuff where we've got scale tones kind of overlapping each other here. All right, so what I'm going to do is get the guitar tuned with a capo on the 5th fret, and I'll come right back. Well, okay, I think I got away with it. This then is now a G, effectively. And if I put a finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, I've now got a G chord. It's just G's and D's. If I want to add the 3rd of the chord, there's a few places I can do that. Right there, 4th fret of the 4th string. But really I want to keep the note on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string as well, so I've got that. That's going to give me a full G chord. If I don't have that note on the 4th fret of the 4th string, then I've just got my G5. Okay. Because the 4th string is tuned to a D, which is the same as the 6th string and the top string, then that note can also reappear on the top string. Or even down here, although I probably want the root. Okay, but anything I do on the 4th string, I can replicate on the top string or the bottom string, and anything I do on the 2nd string, which is now an A, I can replicate on the 5th string too. All that kind of stuff. Okay, so plenty of octaves and so on. Right, well, let's look at the 2nd chord, then we'll get on with some picking, and then we'll start to kind of play around with this a little bit. The 2nd chord, our A minor, effectively I'm just going to do this. I'm going to put a note on the 2nd fret of the bottom string, and then it's going to come off again for my G. Going away to leave you, gonna leave you in disgrace. Nothing in my favor, got the wind on my face, I'm going home. Hey, 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 over the hill. Over the hill. Hey, 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 over the hill. Okay, that really is it. In terms of the picking that he does at the beginning, and I think this is how he does this, he's got lots of hammer-ons. This kind of thing going on. Do a bit of this on the A minor chord as well. Now the other thing we could try and do, just to spice this up a little bit, is actually to play the melody. And it's na, which is that note that we picked out on the 4th fret of the 4th string. Ba ba dum da da. It's basically 3 blind mice. That's a B, an A, and a G. When I'm playing the B, I'm going to keep the note on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, just because it harmonises more nicely than that slight clash. I mean, that's okay, that's part of the kind of DADGAD colour, but that's a bit more consonant. La, 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 and then not when I've got a note on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then again when I've got the 4th string open. So over the hill, and that's the top string open. Hey, 2nd fret on the 2nd string. Hey, 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 and then again over the hill, over the hill. And this is just what I'm adding to this. This isn't what he does. But if I were to play an instrumental part instead of the mandolin solo halfway through this, that's definitely the kind of thing I might do. Let's just take it from the chorus and have an instrumental. Over the hill. of a verse.